Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant, flowers or weeds, will grow. The question is, which one are you watering? On a quiet Sunday morning, the sun filtered gently through the trees in the local park. Birds chirped like they had no worries in the world. Nancy, a 50-year-old woman with curly blonde hair and a calm presence, sat on her usual bench with a warm cup of tea in her hand. She was waiting. A few minutes later, Grace arrived. At 22, she looked like she carried the weight of the world in her eyes. She sat down beside Nancy with a heavy sigh. "I don't know what's wrong with me," Grace said, trying to laugh it off. "Everything just feels negative. Like I'm not enough. Like I'm failing at being an adult. My thoughts never stop reminding me of every mistake, every doubt, every flaw." Nancy nodded, her eyes kind but knowing. "Sounds like your garden's full of weeds." Grace looked at her, puzzled. "My what?" "Your mind," Nancy said, setting her tea down. "It's a garden, and every thought is a seed, positive or negative. You've been watering the wrong ones." Nancy leaned back, letting the moment breathe. Then she began to tell Grace a story, the way she always had since Grace was little. "Let me tell you something I wish I had learned at your age," Nancy said. "There was once a young woman named Alara who lived in a small town nestled between two hills. From the outside, Alara had everything going for her: intelligence, kindness, talent. But her mind was overrun by negative thoughts. Every morning she'd wake up, and the first thing she heard was a whisper, 'You're not good enough.' Then another, 'Everyone's ahead of you.' Then another, 'Why even try?' These voices lived inside her like weeds in a garden, twisting around the roots of anything good." Grace stayed silent, watching Nancy, leaning in just a little more. "One day," Nancy continued, "Alara met an old gardener while walking through the village. His garden was beautiful. Bright flowers, tall sunflowers, soft grass. She asked him how he kept it so lovely. He smiled and said, 'I don't let the weeds grow. Every day I pull them out, even when they're small.'" Nancy looked at Grace. That day, Alara realized she had been feeding her weeds, letting those negative thoughts grow until they choked everything else out. Grace blinked. So what did she do? "She started weeding," Nancy said, smiling. "She paid attention to her thoughts. When she caught one, 'I'm not good enough,' she pulled it out and replaced it with truth. 'I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm not perfect, and that's okay.' At first it felt fake. But with practice, the flowers started to grow. Gratitude, confidence, peace. The weeds came back sometimes, because they always do. But she didn't ignore them anymore. She took care of her mind like it mattered." Nancy turned toward Grace, her voice steady but warm. "Grace, I want you to think of your thoughts like clouds in the sky. Some are light and passing. Others are stormy and hang around too long. But here's the truth. You are not your thoughts. You're the one watching them go by. And just like clouds, you don't have to hold on to the ones that bring rain." Grace leaned in, listening intently. "To start changing negative thinking," Nancy continued, "you need 3 tools: awareness, compassion, and replacement. Number 1. Awareness. First, notice your thoughts. Most of us go through the day on autopilot, letting thoughts run wild without stopping to ask where they came from or if they're even true. So the first step is to pause and listen. Pay attention to the words you say to yourself in your mind. When something goes wrong, do you immediately think, "I'm such a failure," or "nothing ever works out for me"? Catch those thoughts like you'd catch a weed sprouting in fresh soil. Nancy tapped her head gently. "You can't fix what you don't see. So become an observer of your own mind." Number 2. Compassion. Grace raised her eyebrows. "Compassion for myself?" Nancy smiled. "Yes, you'd be amazed how many young adults think being harsh will help them improve. But here's the thing, growth doesn't come from shame. It comes from understanding. So when a negative thought shows up, meet it with kindness. Say to yourself, 'It's okay that I'm struggling right now. I'm allowed to feel this way, but this thought doesn't get to control me.'" She leaned in slightly. "You are not weak for having negative thoughts. You are human. And self-compassion isn't weakness, it's strength in soft clothing. Number 3, replacement. Once you've noticed the thought and met it with compassion, Nancy said, it's time to replace it. This doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing something true and helpful. Not toxic positivity, but grounded self-talk. She continued, let's say the thought is, I'm never going to succeed. Stop and ask, what's the real truth here? Maybe it's, I've had setbacks, but I'm still trying. Or, success looks different for everyone, and I'm still figuring it out. Write that down. Say it out loud. Rinse and repeat. Grace nodded slowly. So I'm basically rewiring my brain? Exactly, Nancy said. You're building new pathways. The more you practice choosing kinder, truer thoughts, the stronger those pathways get. It's like exercising a new muscle. At first it feels weak, but with time, it grows. She added, journaling is a powerful tool here. Set a timer for 5 minutes each morning. Write down the negative thoughts, then challenge it. Ask, is this true? Where did I learn this? What would I say to my best friend if she thought this? Then write a new thought that reflects wisdom, not fear. Grace looked thoughtful, like something was starting to shift inside. And one more thing, Nancy said, be patient. The weeds might grow back. Old thoughts will return when you're tired or stressed. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're still tending the garden, and that's enough. The breeze blew softly around them. Somewhere in the park, a child laughed. Grace finally smiled, the first real one that day. You always make it sound so simple. It is simple, Nancy said, but it's not easy. It takes work, but you can do it. You're not alone. Grace stood up, a little taller than before. I think I want to start gardening. Nancy chuckled. Good. Just remember, don't beat yourself up when weeds pop up. Just pull them out. Be patient. The flowers will come. Moral of the story. Your thoughts are not your enemy, but they do need tending. Choose which ones to water. With time, your mind will bloom. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it makes your life a little better. Please leave a comment. I look forward to hearing from you.